Today we are going to learn a new lesson. It is the story of magic and good deeds written by John Ruskin. That is The King of the Golden River, Part 1. Long, long ago, in the mountainous part of a country, there was a fertile valley. There were many waterfalls leaping down the mountain tops, but not into the valley. This is a very old story. Long, long ago in the mountainous part. What do you mean by mountainous part? Having many mountains together. In the country part, as you can see in the picture, there are many mountains together, and you can see the beautiful view of the mountainous region and greenery everywhere. Then the second picture, as you can see, there are streams, waterfall flowing down. Correct? In the first picture, many mountains together, as you can see here. And here, there were many waterfalls, as you can see here. Okay. So there was a fertile valley. What do you mean by fertile? Fertile means able to produce good quantity of crops. And valley means a low area of land between hills or mountains, typically with a river or stream flowing through it. Okay, students, the doubt is clear, I feel. See here, the stream or a river flowing through the mountains. Meaning of fertile, able to produce a great crop, as you can see along the picture. How beautifully the grapes are grown. Means this is one kind of crops. Okay, able to produce great amount of crops. The next one is leaping. Leaping means jump or a spring a long way to a great height with a great force. As you can see here, the river is leaping down, means flowing down. They all ran down the other side of the mountain. One of the falls was very high, shone like gold in the beams of the evening sun. People called it the Golden River. Why it is said like that? Because all the streams is to flow the other side. Only one waterfall is to fall in this country part where the people were living, on which the story is based. One of the fall was very high and shone like gold in the beams. In the beams means in the rays of the evening sun. See, as you can see how the evening sunshine, when the water is falling, how this waterfall shine like a gold, and because of that it is said as the golden river. The river will never be gold, never be made up of gold, but only due to the evening sunshine and which was falling on this waterfall, so it is called as golden river. Now, though there were no streams running down to the valley itself, wind constantly brought clouds to the valley. Even when the rest of the country was dry, it always rained in the valley. See what is said, students. See where all these people wish to live. So there were no streams running down except that one. But how did this valley got the rain and the waterfall? See now, the wind constantly brought the clouds to the valley. When the rest of the country was dry and it always rained in the valley. What is said? See how we get the rain. Because the wind brings the they form the clouds, and because of the clouds and they turn into dark, and then we get the rain, and then we get the rain. So because of that it is said, even when the rest of the country was dry means the people Everywhere it was like a drought, famine. So there was no rain. But this wind is to come over here. And due to that, this place is to get rain. And that's why it is said it always rained in the valley. In the valley, the wind and the clouds made the crops green, the hay high, the apples red, the grapes purple, and the honey sweet. People called it the Treasure Valley. In the valley, the wind and the clouds made the crops green. Student, it means as it was raining continuously whenever it is needed. So, and this rain was brought by the wind and the cloud. Because of that, there was a green crops everywhere. Then the hay high. Hay means a tall grasses. You have learned hay in the meaning this meaning in the first lesson, that is the Aesop's fable. Hay means the dried grass. Here the hay high means the green tall grasses. The apples red, as you can see in the picture, how the apples are grown in this valley. The grapes purple and the honey sweet. As you might have seen all these fruits and honey, how it tastes. So because of this valley was full of crops, able to produce a great amount of crops. So people called it as Treasure Valley. What do you mean by treasure? Treasure means a quantity of a precious metals or other valuable objects. Treasure Valley will very valuable things, usually in the form of precious stones or money, as you can see in the picture. What is meant by treasure and what is Treasure Valley? The Treasure Valley belonged to three brothers, Squats, Hans, and Gluck. The two older brothers were big, ugly, and wicked. They were good farmers, but they killed everything that was not profitable for them. Even little things like blackbird and hedgehogs and crickets. They did not treat their servants well and gave only poor wages. They waited till the corn had become very expensive in the market and then sold it for twice its value. They were very rich, but they never ever gave even so much as a penny to the poor. People called them the Black Brothers. This treasure valley belonged to three brothers. The brothers' names were Squats, Hans, and Gluck. They were the three brothers, but the two elder brothers were big, ugly, and wicked. Big, you all know, elders. Okay, and ugly means not beautiful, and wicked means evil or morally doing something wrong. So they were good farmers. They were good farmers. They know how to grow the crops, but they killed everything that was not profitable for them. Means anything which was destroying the crops, they used to kill them. Even the little things like blackbirds, as you can see in the picture, students. What is this called as? This is called as blackbird. This bird which you are seeing, this is called as blackbird. Okay, they come to eat the food grains, so they used to kill them. Then hedgehog, this is a small kind of animal with a spines on their body. And cricket, you might have heard, and it looks like grasshopper, but this any insect is called as crickets. Cricket, and in the evening you hear the sound crick crick. So this insect make the sound. They did not even they did not treat their servants well. means the people who are working on the farm or the servants they have, they gave only the poor wages. Poor wages means an amount that is paid to the workers who are working on the farm, means the daily paid money. They waited till the corn had become very expensive in the market. They were very smart brothers, the Squats and Hans. They both were very smart. They used to wait till the corn in the market had become, means when there is no food grain in the market. So at that time they will sell the twice the market, means when the demand is there. So they will supply that. When the demand is there, when the people need, even though with a high price, the people will start buying it. So at that time these both the brothers it's to sell the corn in the market for twice its value. Whatever the price was there, they used to take twice, means two times. So because of that they were very rich, but they never ever gave even so much as a penny, not even a single rupee to the poor. They might have not helped any poor people. So because of that, the people called them as black brother. Because of that, the both the brothers, the Squats and Hans, were called as black brothers. The youngest of the three brothers was only 12 years old. He was just the opposite of his brothers. He was kind to every living thing, though his own brother were cruel to him and made him do all the cooking and the mending and the housework for them. The first and the second brother treated their youngest brother Gluck very cruelly. The youngest brother Gluck was very opposite to his own brothers. He was very kind to every living thing. His own brothers were cruel to him, and he made all the cooking work and repairing work for them, and also other daily work for them. One evening, the two brothers had gone out as usual. They had warned Gluck to let nobody in and give nothing out. Gluck was to get their dinner ready for them. One evening, as usual, these two brothers, Squats and Hens, had gone out. They had warned Gluck to not nobody in and give nothing out, as in the same way as our parents when they go out for some work, they also warn us not to open the door for anyone and not to allow any stranger in. In the same way, the Gluck's brothers warned him not to take in and give out anything, and also to keep their dinner ready for them. It was raining very hard outside. The weather was very cold. Just then there was a double knock on the door. Gluck went to the window and put his head out to see who it was. He saw the most extraordinary looking gentleman standing at the door. As it was raining very hard, means it was raining very heavily outside, due to which the weather had become very cold. Just then there was a double knock at the door. Gluck did not open the door immediately. Instead, he went near the window to check who was knocking at the door. When he put his head out, he saw an extraordinary looking gentleman standing at the door. What do you mean, student? Extraordinary looking man. His appearance was different than the usual looking man. The stranger visitor was very short with a large nose, red cheeks, curly moustache, and merry, twinkling eyes. He wore a conical cap as high as himself and a clock 4 times as long. Now, the students, the stranger was very short with a large nose, red cheeks, and curly moustache. Moustache, you know, your daddy might be having moustache above the upper lips. His eyes looked very happy. Merry means happy. It were twinkling. He wore a conical cap. Students, you know what is meant by conical cap, like a joker or a Santa's cap, and it was as high as the stranger's height, and the clock he wore, it was 4 times longer than the stranger. What do you mean by clock? A clock means a warm piece of clothing. Usually the kings wear. You might have seen. Warned means inform someone in advance of a possible danger, problem, or other unpleasant situations. Second, mustache, a strip of hair left to grow above the upper lip. I am wet, let me in, said the stranger. I beg pardon, sir, said Gluck. I am very sorry, but I really can't. My brothers would beat me to death if I did any such thing. Ah, now, students, who said this? I am wet. Let me in. These were said by stranger as it was raining heavily. Gluck said to the stranger that I am sorry, I can't take you in right now. If I do any such thing, my brothers will beat me to death. He knew how wicked his brothers were. Because of that, he was saying, sorry, I can't take you in. But the Gluck saw how hard it was raining, how cold it was, how wet the gentleman looked, so he opened the door and let the stranger in. Gluck thought he would let the stranger get warm inside for some time and ask him to leave before his brother came home. Students, as you know, Gluck was very kind boy, soft-hearted. So because of that, and he saw how heavily it was raining outside and the weather too had become cold. He saw the gentleman had become wet. Couldn't He couldn't see all these things, so he thought he will open the door for stranger and take him in. So he opened the door and let the stranger in and gave him warm for some time, and he could inform the stranger to leave before his brother come home. Otherwise, they will scold the stranger why, and also the Gluck why Gluck has taken the stranger in without informing them. The stranger, however, had no plans of leaving. In fact, he told Gluck that he had nothing to eat for 2 days and was very hungry. It melted Gluck's heart to hear this, so he decided to give the stranger a part of his own dinner. However, the stranger had no plan of leaving. Gluck thought he would inform the stranger to leave before his brother come in the house. Instead, the stranger said to the Gluck that he has not ate for 2 days and he was very hungry. And Gluck became sad and it melted Gluck's heart because Gluck was kind-hearted boy and he gave his own share of food to the stranger to eat. before the stranger had eaten it, however, the wicked brothers returned. They were shocked to see the little gentleman sitting in the house. At once the brothers began to shout at Gluck. Squats threw a rolling pin at Gluck. At that instant the stranger put in his conical cap and the rolling pin went spinning to the corner of the room. Students, here when the stranger was eating the dinner, the two brothers returned home before he could finish his dinner, and they were shocked to see the stranger sitting in the house and eating the dinner. And of course, they became very, very angry on Gluck. Student, as we know, these two brothers, the Squats and Hans, were wicked. They started shouting at Gluck, and the Squats went threw the rolling pin at the Gluck. And now, what strange thing happened? At that instant, the stranger put in his conical cap, and the rolling pin went right spinning in the corner of the room. Some strange magical thing happened at that moment. The brothers turned to the visitor and ordered him to get out of the house. The little man asked them humbly to let him stay, as it was so cold and wet outside. But the evil brothers wouldn't listen. They rushed at the old man to throw him out of the house. To their surprise, they found that they couldn't touch him. Instead, they were themselves swept into the corner with the rolling pin. The brothers were very, very angry and annoyed on the stranger, and they ordered him to go out of the house. But the little man here is the Glug asked humbly to his brother Hans and Squats to stay, as it was very cold outside and wet. But these evil brothers wouldn't listen to Glug. They rushed at the old man to the stranger to throw him out of the house. To their surprise, they found that they couldn't touch him. Instead, they were themselves swept in the corner with the rolling pin. Then the old man gathered his clock and his cap and said, "At 12 o'clock tonight I will call again, but since you have treated me so badly, it will be the last visit I will pay to you." Then he went away like a whirlwind. Students, as you can see, what is this? This is a clock. A clock the stranger was wearing. It was as 4 times than his height. And this is a conical cap. As you can see, the stranger had worn, the old man. And what he had told, tonight at 12 o'clock, he will give a last visit. I will call again means I will give a last visit, because they both the brothers had treated him very badly. They didn't even showed any courtesy, mercy after looking at him in the cold weather. And he said, "It will be my last visit. I will pay you today at 12 o'clock." And then he disappeared. He went away like a whirlwind. Student, as you can see, what is this? This is a whirlwind. That night, the storm woke the brothers. It shook the house and blew away the roof. Once again, the wicked brothers saw the strange visitor. He was sitting on the cloud, bobbing up and down. Now we saw in the last paragraph the stranger said that he will this will be my last visit, and he went like a whirlwind. And again that night the storm Storm woke up the brothers, the squads, and the hands, shaking the house and blew up the roof. Wicked brothers saw the stranger visitor sitting on the cloud, bobbing up and down, means moving up and down. You may go to your brother's room. I have not damaged it, he told Hans and Squats. Remember this, my last visit. You will find my card on the table. And with those words, he disappeared. In the morning, the brothers saw from the window that the storm had swept away the whole trees and crops from Treasure Valley. Students, as you have seen how the strange visitor had given them the visit and they had treated him badly. So, because of that, he said, and when these brothers got up in the morning and they saw in the morning the brother from the window, the storm had swept away everything, damaged everything, means the trees, the crops from the treasure valley. Everywhere they saw only red sand and grey mud. By saying those words, the strange visitor disappeared. But the stranger was none other than the southwest wind, which provided the fertility and was providing the good crops in the valley. And because of the bad behavior of these two brothers, everything was changed now. There was no wind, no rain in the valley. The valley was a picture of ruin. Everywhere they saw only red sand and grey mud. The valley was a picture of ruin. The brothers then crept to the kitchen. On the kitchen table there was a small white card. As you know, in the last paragraph, I said everything was turned like a ruin valley, means there was nothing left because of the bad deeds, the bad behavior these two brothers had did with the stranger. The stranger was none other than the southwest wind, which was providing everything. The wind, uh, because of the wind, the rain was then, because of the rain, the valley was green and it was profitable for them. So now there was nothing. The brothers then crept to the kitchen, they ran to the kitchen. On the kitchen table, they found one small white card. What was written on that? Southwest Wind Esquire. Now, this beautiful treasure valley, it had turned to the picture of ruin valley, a barren valley. No more it remained the fertile because of the bad deeds of squats and hands. Ruin, the physical destruction or disintegration of something or being destroyed. Let's see the meanings of the difficult words. Bims. Bims means raise. Wages. The money that is paid for the work that a person does. Mending. Mending means repairing. Clock. Clock. A warm piece of clothing. Bobbing means moving quickly. Write past tense forms of the following. Number 1, true. Answer is true. Number 2, sweep. Answer is swept. Number 3, think. Answer is thought. Number 4, spin. Answer is spun. Number 5, wear. Answer is wore. Answer the following. Number 1, what warning did the two brothers give Gluck? Answer, Gluck was warned to let nobody in and give nothing out. Number 2, what were The names of the three brothers. Answer. The names of the three brothers were Squats, Hans, and Gluck. Number 3. What happened when Squats drew the rolling pin? Answer. When the Squats drew the rolling pin at Gluck, the stranger put in his conical cap and the rolling pin went spinning to the corner of the room. Thank you, students.